All right, folks, welcome to a audio-visual episode of the podcast that was recently thrown in a list of other podcasts for the Dorkening on a big promotional thing for the Halloween season. And here we are in the Halloween season and kicking it off. Second week of October, I believe. But Mel, how you doing over there?
I'm just came in from work, so I am kind of like wired a little bit, but looking forward to doing, like, I've been looking forward to this like for days now.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pleasure.
I actually couldn't wait to get out of work.
Hell yeah, I usually have that feeling.
Oh God, I think most people do.
The usual feeling.
Yeah.
Today we're visited by the great Sarah French and the great Joe Knetter,
who we actually became friends with due to the now, I guess you could say, deceased, Rock and Shock convention.
He died of COVID. Rock and Shock died of COVID-19.
Black Lives Matter. I don't know. There's so many things they could say killed it right now. It's not even funny.
Yeah. So I think COVID was the official death, the official nail. Well, there was speculation going for a couple of years that it was kind of for a couple of years. I know there was talks that this might be the last one for a little bit, and then it kind of, they'd always pull through. And last year they had the big Bruce Campbell one, which was a big deal because we've been asking for him for a long time, and then we finally got him, which was like really.
They went out with a bang, and of course that's the year I couldn't get to go last year, so that kind of killed my whole lot experience, because literally the last year for me was 2018.
That's two big disappointments for you, because you missed George's last year as well.
George
Romero.
Oh, I know. Every time there's like good guess. I saw George Romero at Rock and Shock.
Yeah.
That's where I first met him. But
to make you feel better, I have two disappointments like that too, where Gunnar Hansen.
Yep, that was one of the years I missed.
And Corey Haim.
I didn't even know Rock and Shock existed when Corey Haim went to there.
Corey Haim rolled around, and
oh my God, I definitely would have fangirled on that one because I had the biggest crush growing up.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things you get. I think I talked about it in another episode about the conventions where it's like you see the people and it's like you don't think they're gonna be dead. You think they'll be there because a lot of regulars at the cons. You know what I mean? So you're like, well, I don't have to catch him this year because he'll be there
next year.
Not next year, the following. Yep.
I mean? Yeah. And that was the good thing about it. Yeah, that was like the good thing about Rock and Shock. I noticed with a few of the celebrity guests that attended that, like, if they weren't there one year, they would be there the next year.
Right.
Like they're like on an alternating schedule or whatever. And then you have like the regulars in the, for all the shows that I went to that were always there, so that's how I met our guests for tonight was Rock and Shock. So I've known them a couple of years now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we finally get to have them on our show. Yay! I'm in like total cornball mode today.
It's all right. It's been a long time coming, and with the fact that Rock and Shock's dead, so me and Mel thought it would be a good idea to kind of incorporate October month with people that some cool folks that we actually met through the old Rock and Shock.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Can't go wrong.
Anthony Thurber was last week's, and but I think he was more of a ScareCon, right?
Yeah, that's where I first officially started really talking to him with ScareCon.
So he was our own little rest in peace to ScareCon, even though we ScareCon has a great place in the heart of Shock Treatment with Mel and Matty. They were very kind to us, and hopefully in the future we hope that we can still be in that warm glow of kindness.
Yeah, that's kind of like that. Things. Yeah, that's kind of where with ScareCon embracing us is where we were able to really start doing more within the podcast community, and getting the guests that we're getting, because it's I don't know, it's easier for us to get guests now that we are with the Dorkening Network.
Yeah, and actually have time to talk to them.
Yeah, and actually have time to talk to them. That's that's my big thing with it. Like, I'll never ever bash our WBOB days, but we just didn't have enough time to. We just never had enough time to actually have a good conversation with our guests. Like, you know, because by the time we were all was said and done, like
it'd be over.
It was done. Yeah, like literally, it took you longer to drive down here than what we were doing for an episode of our show.
When you have the guest complaining at the end of it that it's too short, you know that there's an issue there.
Yeah.
And that was an issue that we ran into it quite a few times where the guest was like, huh, what?
Yeah, that's why I kind of really never tried to reach out to too many guests while we were there. Because even with that, like we never really knew, we kind of knew we were going to be on Tuesdays, but we never knew if we were going to have a half an hour or an hour, you know, because they kind of went, you know, based on whatever was going on that day, if they needed to fill space or whatever, you know, I don't know, whatever it was. But you need at least a good half an hour for a guest. And when you have one that actually is willing to talk, like people want to hear what they have to say. They don't want to have to worry about it being over.
And our half hour was probably only broken into 20 minutes because we had 2 or 3 commercial breaks we had to take.
Yep, every 15 minutes there was the commercial breaks, and then they'd bring them back in. And if we had issues,
the dub
no, not at all. I mean, you're gonna have those kind of issues no matter what you do. But
I don't know how
they format was better for us.
How do they not call themselves Dub Bub? The WBOB Dub Bub. That's like perfect,
right?
The Dub Bub. When we go back, they keep offering us big checks to go back.
Yeah, right.
Don't tell the rest of the people at the station, but they've been offering us big $100,000 checks to go back. They want us to do 31 minutes, though. That's the only thing. That's the holdout.
Yeah, instead of 30 minutes, we can do 31.
We're negotiating. We're trying to get 35 minutes.
I was just gonna say that.
Well,
see, great minds think alike.
It's a real life thing. That's why, you know, we wouldn't fib about that. We wouldn't lie about that. Come on.
So I went to the Dollar Tree today.
Yeah, what'd you get?
With my client while I was at work. I actually found 2 good movies.
Yeah, the Dollar Tree is
at least one good movie. Like I got Beyond the Gates.
Oh, really?
And Stage Fright.
Let me see that Beyond the Gates cover. Stage Fright, I actually got at the Dollar Tree myself.
Hold on 1 second.
I think the Beyond the Gates DVD is something I've been looking for.
They didn't have many.
Maggot the McDuna is looking for it for me, supposedly.
They didn't have many horror movies. I grabbed the 2 they had.
Yeah, it's Halloween time.
That's the cover for the Beyond the Gates I got.
Oh yeah. If you see that again, let me know. That's a great movie, dude. I have that soundtrack.
I haven't even watched it yet. If you want, I won't even open this. I'll save it for you.
If you want it.
I only bought it because I've been dying to buy a movie at the Dollar Tree. That was a horror movie.
Now this wasn't quite $1. This is not even opened up yet. This is the soundtrack to it. You know, Death Waltz. I believe it's got a very awesome it's purple. I love the purple.
Me too.
Purple. As a kid, purple was my favorite color, and such a hateful world. They would say that you were terrible things if you like purple. So I said, or what they assumed to be terrible things, not actually terrible things. But so I had to change my color. But I secretly love purple to the day I die, children.
Yeah, so I'll save this. I'll save that for you.
Hell yeah!
If I come across another one, I'll grab it for me. But like, I'll save this for you, and next time I see you, I'll give you this and the Phantasm thing.
I mucho gracias you on that. I want to have Jackson Stewart, I believe, the director of that, because that's a really good film. I've seen it before. I've watched it before. I
watched it once. It was it was a while back. It was like when it first came out.
Yeah,
is when I
Barbara
saw
Crampton.
it. But yeah, that she's on the TV screen and then they're like walking out of the cemetery or whatever.
I'm trying to think of that actor's name. I usually know it. I'm spacing. He was an Almost Human. He was Herbert West in the
Graham Skipper, Chase Williamson, Brea Grant, Matt Mercer, Jesse Merlin, Justin Wellborn.
If you say it, I'll know it.
Sarah Maliku.
He's also in Mind's Eye, which I got at the Dollar Tree.
Henry LeBlanc and Barbara Crampton. Those are the only names showing on.
What was the first name? Graham?
Graham Skipper?
Graham Skipper. There he is. Good guy. Yeah, that's a good movie. Barbara Crampton's in it. Barbie Cramps. We were talking about her a couple episodes ago. Yeah. She was great in it.
And then I made a new contact today because Sarah's new movie, The Special, dropped today.
Yeah.
And I was tweeting about it on...
I'm double drinking.
Yeah, I know, right? I was tweeting about The Special on Twitter because of, I follow Harrison and they and all of them on there. So like that's been like a big conversation piece today. Is that movie coming out? We're having them on for another movie that they have coming out. So it's been a good year for Sarah and even and Joe as well.
And we love to see it because as we'll get into, like we've known them for many, many moons through the Rock and Shock convention. They were there almost every year, I'd say. And that was always good to see them,
Yeah, because they became staples, and they're always, both of them are always like just so pleasant and very
the life of the party. They say they'll say Joe Knetter's the life of the party.
He most definitely is.
There's like the old like the Friday the 13th Ralph the town crazy guy that goes, that camp's got a death curse. There's a Ralph that walks around Rock and Shock and goes, Joe Knetter's the life of the party.
And that would be Darren probably walking around.
Darren Hammer in the building. What up, Darren? Darren will probably watch this or listen to this. So
just because of the fact that they're all friends. So whatever, I don't care. Like we're
Darren,
doing.
I hope you get.
We know who our people like.
I think Darren's listened to a show before and he's told me he's liked it. One of the shows. So hopefully he'll listen to this and he'll get fucking. Hellraiser hooked in.
Reel them all in. Right? But yeah, that other movie, Stage Fright, never even heard of it in my life, but
that's a remake of an older horror movie. I haven't seen the remake, but the older one's all right. We get a lot of cool interviews coming up in the next couple weeks, going into the new year and beyond, setting us some stuff up.
I'm excited about the Halloween episode.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a big mashup Halloween episode this year because there's so many shows under the Boombastic Media, brand that like, instead of doing a whole bunch of them, we're going to, just do one gigantic one. But we have some guests knocking on our door right now. If you will, are you ready?
I am ready.
Here they come. Just walking down the street singing, do what did it do.
And there they are.
Hello. I like that.
Hi, guys. He's connecting to the audio.
I like it.
No problem.
But big Halloween episode coming up. Yeah, it'll be fun.
He's got that awesome, looks like a Hellraiser t-shirt on, Mr. Netta.
Very nice. Taking the Hook reference from earlier.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay.
Hi guys, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Very well.
Good.
Fantastic.
We're doing great. How are you guys?
We're doing very well. How's
very
it over
well.
there? How's California?
I see California's great. I see you have a sword and a machete.
Yeah, so Joe better watch what he says.
She's ready, yeah.
I got your back, Sarah.
Well, I never take her from the back. It's generally from the front.
Yeah, true.
TMI.
I meant in a ninja situation. I don't know what you guys were thinking. I was
thinking the Heimlich maneuver there. Maneuver, whatever it is.
But if it wasn't for the gutter, my mind would be. If it wasn't for the gutter, my mind would be homeless. So
okay,
I like that.
That's where it automatically goes.
I would be right there with you.
That's why we all get along, and because we're all there too.
Yeah.
It always helps.
Yes, absolutely.
We're talking about the death of Rock and Shock before you came in. That's where I think all of us met at Rock and Shock,
Yes.
Very sad stuff.
It was. It was sad for us because we had an idea last year it was going to be the end. It was going to be the last one.
We had that feeling.
So
we knew. And
that was our home away from home. I mean, we were there. I missed the first year. Otherwise, I was there every year. and you missed the first few because I was married.
And
then once
but I've been going since.
Yeah, your first year was typo negative.
Yeah.
Probably 11 years, 10 years.
Oh, fuck.
I'm
bad with dates.
No swearing on the show.
No, they can swear.
Yeah, we're a family-friendly show.
You can swear.
No, I don't. I'm going to swear. I don't want her to.
Yes.
That's it. You're going to get it.
Okay, well, good. You didn't call me a bitch, so you're
Where's
learning.
the box? Where's the box at?
Yeah. Oh, it's in the bedroom on Joe's side.
I don't know why it would be on Joe's side.
Well, I mean, there should be a female version of the box, but I guess it would have to be like, I don't know, something else, right? Like the stick.
Yeah. It'd be very interesting to see a sequel made to the special from the female's perspective, for sure.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
You could use the box and just do what they do on the artwork.
Well, I was just going to say, the poster has that tongue.
Yeah.
Hey, don't they have, isn't that a sex toy, the tongue or something like that?
Yes, the tongue is a sex toy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a tongue. There's got to be a tongue toy out there that just flickers.
There is. I love taking. I just love taking random trips to the amazing store and checking out things that I'll never ever buy because I don't have the balls to use it.
Well, let me tell you, when COVID hit, the first thing I did when we knew we were going in lockdown.
Wait, are we recording?
Yes.
Yeah, we're recording.
Shit. Okay.
We can add. We're not live, so we can.
No. There's no editing.
Kidding.
No
it's
editing.
Fine.
But we knew, okay, LA was shutting down because we shut down pretty quick here. And I made one run. I ran out quickly before things closed to get her a new vibrator because that was the one thing I knew if we were going to be in lockdown for months, she was going to need. Because I got shit to do. Like I got things I got to get done. And I can't always be there. You know, dispensing with pleasure.
I appreciate
a younger woman.
That's very considerate.
Yeah.
Right? He's always thinking about me.
But I didn't buy her the fucking batteries. She had to earn them one at a time.
That's when you just go out and buy the rechargeable ones, and then she doesn't need to worry about it.
Oh no. I like to know when they burn out, so I know. I keep track. It's like, all right, I know that battery lasts for 7.5 hours, so let's see.
So 20 minutes later, the battery's dead, and there's a new pack coming out.
Yeah. I'm like, why did you order 1,000 batteries from Amazon?
See, this is no different than when we'd be at Rock and Shock telling stories. Yeah.
It's like Rock and Shock.
This is like a little Rock and Shock kind of thing, but over.
Yeah, which is why I was kind of like really excited too about having you both coming on together.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's all like a nostalgic kind of thing. You guys both have all kinds of projects coming out right now. So it just made it that much easier to just do it all.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah, and it's very rare that we actually come together.
Clearly, if you're buying her a vibrator.
Oh, honey.
I know. I try my best.
That's what happens when you get old and have grandbabies.
It is.
Yeah.
How about that for COVID?
Yes.
I'm a grandpa.
Baby, I know. Congratulations.
I can't imagine.
Thank you so much.
Like going through. Well, I can't imagine either way, but like I can only imagine having to go through labor on a normal day, never mind with having to go through it with COVID and having to wear a mask while you're doing it.
Well, yeah, because
my daughter Megan, who gave birth, actually had COVID when she gave birth.
Oh wow.
So
that's crazy.
Luckily she's young, she wasn't really.
No, she didn't have really symptoms.
No, it's in the Mayo Clinic in Rochester. 2 weeks prior to giving birth, you have to be tested for COVID. It's automatic, and that's how she found out she had it. But she had no symptoms. Scratchy throat one day, that was it.
It's crazy.
It's going to be me if I get it. That's going to be bad.
It's going to be the end.
Yeah, my dick's going to fall off.
Then you won't have to worry about the special.
No. Yeah.
Way too fresh in the memory from watching it. So yeah.
Yeah, you watched it today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Literally, as soon as it popped on at midnight, I was watching it.
Very cool.
Team no sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Well, we watched it too, because
we
she'd seen one screening of it, like kind of at a
like
backyard
a year
party,
ago.
But we were in a pool drinking, so it was kind of the focus was not exactly there.
Yeah.
But it was cool, like, because we love to support indie horror, especially now during the COVID times with the big tentpole films not coming out. Yeah. It's indie films that are filling the
it's the indie films that are, the most unique films coming out right now.
Yeah.
I mean, so many different, cool movies are coming out.
Yeah, and Alexander Hawk is in half of them.
Hey!
He's in that movie. He's in Bloodthirst.
Yeah.
Did he tell you we got a couple scenes together?
Yeah, he told me.
He was so excited about it.
Yeah.
He was, oh my God, he is so funny. I gotta tell you, one of the lines in the movie, it's more funny to me than anything, probably. Yeah. And I kept doing it to Joe when I got back from filming. One of his lines is that your boyfriend?
It is now. Alexander Hawk and Sarah French are now an item. It's no longer Joe Knetter and Sarah French.
I can't wait for you guys to see that.
I've had to move on. I'm too old now. Once I'm a grandpa, because if I'm a grandpa, you know what that makes her, right?
Uh-oh.
Not the grandma.
She's a grandma.
Nope. Nope. She can't.
Thank you.
She's not old. She doesn't look old enough. She doesn't even look old enough to be a grandma. So.
And I look old enough to be a grandpa?
With that beard right you do.
I haven't dyed it either, so it's got a lot of gray and.
Yeah, you old fart.
And it's been 100 degrees here still. I mean, I'm sure it's not quite 100
like
where you guys
today.
are from, but
it's pouring out right now. Actually.
Yeah, it's downpouring here all day.
I miss rain.
I love rain. I couldn't. Yeah, I'd hate to have to live without the rain.
Right now, the temperature is not too bad here.
Okay.
I'm holding steady at 55, so.
55 is okay.
That's comfortable.
But when the sun hits my beard, I get some red in there too. So it's gray and red. And that's where I was going with the sun. I wasn't just being an asshole by pointing out how beautiful the weather is here in sunny California.
Yeah.
It's just funny too, because like just last night, me and Matt were, having our pre-show prep meeting. And like, I'm telling him, I'm like, Matt, your beard is looking really red today.
Oh, super red.
Yeah. I was like, so we were busting chops about that last night. And then I don't know, like, considering I'm like half Spanish, I don't know where the hell the red's coming in from my hair right now.
Yeah.
And it's not even from a box. Like
no, it's the sun. It hits it and it changes it, and it's probably reflecting off the beautiful East Coast skies because we love it. We miss there.
I know. I miss the East Coast so much.
Yeah, you've been staying inside for the most part.
Yeah, with the exception of going to work, I've been a homebody.
Yeah.
I work in healthcare. I have, my boyfriend has, health issues. My dad has health issues.
Yeah.
My sister would legit murder me if my nephew gets something.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to put anybody else's health at risk.
Yeah. And that's why I haven't actually visited Minnesota yet to see my grandson Elijah, just because of a safety thing. We don't want to
take that chance.
My mom's not in the best health. My older daughter, not the one that just gave birth, but my oldest, she works with the special needs, and a lot of them are very sick. And
that's what I do for work too.
Yeah, my mother does that too.
Yeah. Sarah works with special needs. That's mainly me.
But, I was just gonna say that's you, so. That's all enough said right there.
Well, I'm on the spectrum. I'm very high functioning, but
yes, you are.
I think everybody in some ways is on the spectrum somewhere, you would never know, but like I kind of have issues with the second when it comes to it. You would not know sometimes with me, but
I'm weird with things too. Like I'm odd. I'm an odd person.
You have OCD and all that.
I'm OCD.
Yeah.
I'm OCD now because he's so OCD.
I turned her OCD.
Cleaning and stuff, which is good.
Yes. I'm not saying you have to clean, but I appreciate that you do.
Mm-hmm. You do realize you just gave her a hall pass to take like a week off without doing anything, right?
No, that's fine. Like she did 2 movies back to back in Vegas and was gone, and I didn't clean till the day before she came back.
Well, you're a male, so that's not surprising to me.
Yeah. Well,
he's pretty clean.
I'm pretty good at being clean.
Yeah,
I have a bidet. I have a bidet. I got that right before COVID too, which not because of COVID, but that whole toilet paper thing didn't affect me at all.
No, because the toilet clean your butt for you.
Oh my! It's the most wonderful thing ever. It is. If you guys don't have it, it's like $30 on Amazon. You hook it to your toilet seat. It's wonderful.
I can't do it. It's too weird for me.
That would I think it would feel funny.
It's an acquired taste, I feel.
Well, if you're tasting it, you're doing it wrong. Maybe turn it down a little bit. It's too powerful.
I love it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, this feels like Rock and Shock, right?
Like seriously, all we're
know.
missing is like some drinks in hand and me passing around a blunt.
Yep, and Joel
much.
Robinson running around.
Yes.
Moonshine.
Yeah.
Aw.
Oh yeah.
And they're
I mean,
another one. They just had their first baby, and
yeah.
like she is like, I can't believe it's already been a year. She's like absolutely adorable.
Wow. It's
Like-
it's crazy, and I'm happy for them though. I like those two. They make a good couple.
Nice. They do.
Yeah.
It's like you guys. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't known you guys that long, but just from the short time I have known you, right now I really couldn't picture neither one of you without the other.
Oh, I know. Me neither. And she knows that. I let her know that I could never picture you with anybody else, and that means we have to have extra carpets that you can be rolled up in. I put a cock ring on it once. On me.
A ring's a ring, right?
Exactly.
You can buy them cock rings at Walmart. They're wonderful.
Dude, no, you go to like the Amazing Superstore here, like those vibrating cock rings are amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They got the little, some of the expensive ones have a little butterfly on the tip. Otherwise, it's just a thing you slide in and out like that. And
Well, thanks for the visual.
Once upon a time, back in like I think like my early 20s, I used to have my tongue pierced, and I actually had like one of the pieces on that was like a vibrating ball.
Okay.
Vibrating tongue ring for, you know, those special moments.
Oh, those special moments. I know those special moments. I've experienced a few of them in my life.
In your life?
In my life, a few of them. I don't keep track. 1,842. You know, the beautiful thing with Facebook is like we're always now getting all the Rock and Shock shit from this happened a year ago. This happened 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In their memories, they're sad sometimes.
Yeah.
No, they are.
Especially with, you know, each year we have more and more of our, you know, genre people we love that aren't
passing
around
away.
anymore. Yeah. Like we just lost Chris Carnell, who was great.
Yeah.
I think he did Rock and Shock once.
I think he did too.
But Chris was a great guy. And yeah, obviously Sid last year,
that broke my heart. Like
yeah.
Sid, I have loved Sid since the first time I ever watched Spider Baby.
Yeah.
And when I first got into doing the podcast, Sid was my like first official celebrity interview. So that's always going to be like a standout thing for me. And he was just so like genuine with everybody. Like I would call him Mr. Haig and he'd be like, oh no, Uncle Sid.
Yeah.
So you know, feed him chocolate chip cookies and feed him chocolate chip cookies and, you know, help him out if I saw that he needed it at conventions.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people get used to seeing my face at the local ones anyway.
Sure.
So they you know, I try not to be like, sometimes I feel like I like bother people, but like I genuinely am that person that always wants to like help out. So if I see like, if you guys are at your table and like one of you needs a break or whatever, all right, go do what you got to do. I'll stay here and like man the table for a few minutes so you can go.
No, everybody, I've never heard anybody say anything negative about you. Everybody loves you. I know I've heard people say negative things about somebody they call the Hawk. But
oh my God, sure. That guy is such a douchebag.
The Hawk.
The Hawk. He's the worst guy ever.
When he heard this, he had to settle down and like relax.
Okay.
Poor Hawk.
Hawk had to take a knee.
It'd be all right.
No, it's Sid was one of a kind. He was what he was. He was no different behind the table than in front of the table. Obviously, the last couple of years he was not doing the greatest.
He wasn't feeling all that hot towards the end. And like somebody had said something to me at one point, but I didn't want to believe it just because I didn't know the person that well.
Yeah.
And I try not to buy into other people's talk because that's usually what all it is talk.
Yeah.
And then I'm started paying more attention, and I know he was trying to do things to get healthier and whatnot too, but at the same token, you could see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
That you could just see that he was worn down.
Yeah, very, very much so. And it was sad to see because he was always so full of life. Like, you know, he was just,
he was the life of the party.
Yeah. I mean, in the old days, he threw the parties and there was some epic shit that would happen at him, and just crazy shit.
He had me laughing one day because we were at ScareCon. I think it was 2017. I had taken my dad to his first horror convention in Springfield when they were there. Cool. And like it was Sid, Kane, like all the guests, they were sitting in the lounge at the restaurant at the hotel, and they were all in this back room, all surrounding and like having dinner. And I was over there, I was talking to everybody, and like Sid just was beat. So I'm like, I started giving him a massage, and he's like, "Oh my God, kid, I'll give you 3 days to stop." Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he was just such a great guy. And I know, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, you finally got to work with him when you filmed your cameo for Death House.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, he was just so full of life. He was so into it, so serious. He was great in that film, and it was great to work with him. He's a legend.
Yeah. And I played his son in his last movie, Hanukkah.
Yes.
So I didn't have any scenes with him, but it was, I mean, I knew him for a long time. We used to, like, between conventions, we'd go on vacation together and travel together. And so it kind of came full circle.
I think those are more the moments that mean more, because you're getting to relax and enjoy spending that time with him, as opposed to it being on a film set where you guys are like doing like 18-hour days.
Working.
And Sid was a big kid. I mean, he'd have fun. Like, he was always open to any kind of jokes. You know, he liked to make people laugh. And those were some of the funnest days, is just, you know, being in Florida, going to Disneyland or Universal Studios, and just being, you know, less than sober. And, you know,
all of us less than sober? Say it ain't so.
Yeah, wait, what?
The amount of people that would run up to Sid that would recognize him, of course, because he's so recognizable. And it was crazy. Of course, he did wear a Devil's Reject shirt to Universal Studios.
I'm pretty sure that, you know, once he started portraying Captain Spaulding, that made him way more noticeable.
100%. That was the character that brought him to this generation. And it's great that he got to do that, because, you know, to me, I think of those movies, that's what I think of. Spaulding is the character that lasts. Otis does too. I mean, I was happy for Bill Moseley too, because he got his kind of new Chop Top character to jump into.
Like to bring it to the new
And then they go back and find the old ones and the old movies, which were from the 80s, you know. They're not that old, I guess.
These youngins these days, we can't really say they have good taste in horror movies when they think, you know, movies like Twilight are horror.
Oh, jeez.
I can't call a horror movie that's rated PG-13. I don't really see that as a horror movie.
Well, Poltergeist.
Well, Poltergeist, like, it depends on what, like, that's different. That was
I'm just giving hard times.
The movies nowadays, I think the indie horror movies are way better than the mainstream horror movies, because
because they're not a lot of indie films are not cookie cutter.
You get to do what you want to do.
You can go more outside the box with them and try something new. I mean, because you don't have these
pun intended,
billions of dollars of budget where you have all these producers are like, no, you got to do this, this, and this. You have more freedom.
And The Special is a good example of that, because you know, Marvel ain't gonna do a movie about a guy fucking a box.
I swear to God, though, I was watching that and I didn't know whether to laugh or cringe at certain parts.
And that, I think that was what they were going for, is they wanted the 80s where you smile, you laugh, you gross out.
There was a few parts where I thought I was going to toss my cookies when certain things were going on. I'm like, no, don't do it.
It definitely builds to a payoff, I think.
The ending.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know, you're certainly doing a lot of interviews for it. Yeah, it gets a happy ending.
Needless to say.
She actually, the funny thing is she shot the special and flew right from the special back here, and the next day we were working on Blind. So those were back to back with no time in between.
And they're coming out back
at the same time. Which is kind of worked out beautifully with you guys being on tonight as well.
I mean, the special came out today, and then Blind is coming out.
Yes, I think it's November 3rd, they're saying.
We're gonna this week we're gonna get the official press releases.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're pretty excited about that.
Then I'll blow up everybody's Facebook feeds, Twitter feeds, and everything with that coming out.
Yeah.
We love Blind. We got to play it at the Undodivergent Film Awards.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank you. That was like what the cool thing about that whole festival is, like being able to bring like these cool films like that back to like Massachusetts to like, you know, show them to this.
Yeah.
It isn't going to be able to see them in the theaters. You know what I mean?
No, especially with like, I remember seeing what you guys had playing and the movies you had, and it's a lot of unique stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that's what,
yeah,
because that's the important thing. And when we did Blind, we knew it was a film festival movie. It needed a film fest to find an audience because it's a weird movie. It's not what you expect. It's more of a drama. It's a very slow burn drama with some thriller type stuff. And Distro, we're going to look at that and not know how to sell it because it's not exactly a horror movie. But we knew by doing a good festival run, we could then get the Distro, which has worked for us because we've sold it to, I think, 23 countries. You know, and it's a movie we made for $25,000. So we're very happy with what we pulled off for that.
Oh God, it was amazing. Like
thank you.
You guys did an epic job doing what you did for that amount of money.
Yeah,
like,
thank you.
You guys get a good deal too. Yeah, Distro can be tough.
Very tough.
You don't get the right people. I know we did a movie once that was like a thriller, but they marketed it as a horror movie to try and sell it.
Yeah.
But like they just want you to buy it, and then once you buy it, they don't care what you think.
No,
it's true.
I mean? And they just rip the shit out of it online.
Yeah, no, they don't care whether anybody likes the movie. They just want to get that money.
They just want it bought, sold.
And it's tough. Because I mean, obviously Blind's being marketed as a slasher.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly a slasher. The sequel, which we're going to do, is a full-on 80s slasher.
Nice.
With some R-rated comedy. And it's a trilogy. The first one was meant to be kind of like a 70s slow burn Halloween style. The second one.
You almost feel bad for the guy.
Yeah,
you do.
With the first one, you feel really bad for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you know, to see the sequel, like it's going to be interesting to see where that character goes.
You guys slid into a more higher brow horror, which I always appreciate. You know, like right now you have like the Hereditaries and stuff like that, but they're all being done on a bigger budget. So to see you guys do this on a smaller budget was really like,
thank you so much.
Really great.
And that's Marcel Wall's the director. He's fantastic. He's got a beautiful eye for what he wants. Thomas Riss shot the movie, and it's beautiful. It was us trying to do an A24 movie on no money.
Yeah.
I mean, just 25 grand is.
I mean, it's nothing.
It's nothing.
I mean, I'm not really anybody to say anything, but like, because my opinion's not really going to matter that much. But I think for what you had for a budget and the finished product, I think you guys did an amazing job with it.
Well, thank you. And your opinion matters because it's ridiculous. Sarah and I get to make any kind of money and work in this industry. It's ridiculous. Every day we get to work, it's like playing. So anytime even one person goes, hey, you know, we enjoyed that, then we won. That was worth what we put into it. Yeah. Because we're everybody, except for Frenchie. She's Frenchie, but she's an anomaly. She's just like this wonderful, perfect angel that is madly in love with me.
There you go.
Every man needs a strong woman.
Yes.
True that.
Yeah, have you seen her workout videos?
Her workout videos make me feel like I'm not doing anything, but then again, I'm also not doing anything. I see her workout videos though, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to that point, but I'll sure as hell try.
Yeah,
there you go, and that's all you can.
I'm never going to get to that point. I always kind of knew
like she's sitting there flipping tires bigger than she is, and I'm like, no.
She does that like hammer thing now, and
she's going to kill it at the carnival with them games.
Oh,
she's gonna blow them away.
Listen, the only way you can see results is by challenging yourself.
Yes.
So you have to challenge yourself every day.
Yes.
I mean, I cheated. I had weight loss surgery, but like I have to keep up with it.
You have to.
I was pushing 500 pounds. Like I had to do something because no matter what I did for dieting wise, like I couldn't. And then I start seeing her workout videos and I'm like, wow, she doesn't even need to be doing all of this, but she looks freaking fantastic. So I incorporate, like I do some of the things you do, but I don't like, I'm not that balls to the wall with it.
Yeah. And neither am I, but I mean, she's got, her philosophy is if she's not working on something,
I'm working on myself.
yes.
Exactly. And that's
how everyone should, look at it too.
Especially out here, because LA is, I love LA, but it's tough. Yeah.
It's a hustle.
It's a hustle. And, like all of us though, this has been a year. I mean, we're all kind of just
what
struggling.
What a crazy year, you guys, right?
And you guys have had the fires and everything out there too.
Oh my God.
Or has it?
We're in the city, so we don't really have the fires, close to us where we have to worry about burning anything.
But for a good couple of weeks, it was really smoky.
Yeah, there were a couple of days where you couldn't go outside.
Oh yeah,
it was too hard to breathe, and it rains ash.
We even had it here. Like the smoke started like drifting to the East Coast. It was getting so ridiculous. Like
it's nuts. And earthquakes. We've had a lot of earthquakes this year. Yeah. We were in line.
I was saying it's Armageddon. Like
it really is.
Like every bad thing that could possibly happen has been going on this year. Like before 2021 hits, I wanted to see a disclaimer for what the next year is going to be.
Yeah. Like. Well, and this year, I think it's going to take years for us to be able to reflect on how really insane this year was.
Yeah.
I mean, it is insane. Everything that we've had to do and happen. And the things that went away, like the murder hornets, they were here for like a week, and then that went away. No more murder hornets.
I don't think that was ever a thing anyway, but
yeah.
That was created by the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, it could have been Asylum. Asylum did. I know there's at least 2 murder hornet movies out there.
Oh, I'm sure there's way more than that.
Yeah,
coming.
I'm just grateful we're all able to get back to work.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're finally opening up out here a little bit, but it's. Because we start production next week on a movie, and there's just so much you have to go through with the COVID tests and being careful, separate food, and a lot of people out here honestly aren't doing it. But the one thing we want to do with our team is make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, because if you're not healthy, you're not gonna get those projects out for everybody to see.
No, I mean. Yes. You just that's my biggest issue with everything, because like I hate wearing a mask. I hate it. Yeah. But you have to. Even if they come out and say there's only a 0.001% chance it helps, then why wouldn't you do it?
No, it's exactly like wearing the mask. I've got more acne now at 43 than I did my entire teenage years from like sweating and having to have the mask on constantly.
Yeah. And rubbing.
Getting younger, making you young again.
Yeah, no. It was maybe I got no acne.
Maybe it is going to be like a Benjamin Button thing. Now you're going to start reversing. 2020 is so weird. Now the next 20 years we're going to go backwards.
Oh God. I shudder at the thought. Yeah, let's not wish anything like crazy.
No.
Unless we're going back to the 80s, I'd be okay with that.
I wouldn't be. You'd be like 2.
I know, that's true.
That would make our relationship weird.
Very weird. So Joe, you wrote Blind.
Yes.
You're also an author. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer writing the screenplays? Do you prefer writing novels?
Honestly, it's hard to say. I've done a lot more work in the screenplays since moving to LA. I find it's a lot easier, and the financial side is a little bit better. People don't really buy the books anymore. But I mean, there's something to be said about like novels and fiction. I mean, certainly when I wrote I, Survivor with Adam Green, I hadn't wrote anything in a couple of years, and that was fun just because of what it was. Yeah. So that never felt like I was pushing, because the one thing I hate is for writing to turn into a job. I hate feeling like I have to do something. I like doing it because I want to do it.
Because you literally enjoy it.
Let it flow out of you.
Yeah. And with screenplays, it's a little bit, because like with Blind, we had Marcel Walls had a dream that he was shooting a movie in his house about a blind girl and a stalker. And in the dream, he saw the crew, he saw everybody. But the next night he came to our house and told us about the dream. And we actually wrapped the movie 5 weeks the day later. From dream to wrapping that movie, it was 5 weeks. So during that 10-day period after he pitched that idea, I wrote 3 features. Now that stretch, because I'd already committed to 2 others, that felt like work because it was just nonstop. All right, lunch, I can work on this one, dinner, and then middle of the night. But there's something to be said about writing fiction's great, but with movies, you get an instant satisfaction of seeing people bring it to life. You get to experience people watching it. Like if I just follow people around at Rock and Shock trying to watch them read my book, that's kind of weird. Yeah. But I can sit in a room and watch them watch a movie. Plus, I get to work with other people. Like writing like fiction, you're really on your own and you have no idea, and it's all about you. Whereas a movie, there's so many moving parts that it's just amazing to see come to life. I mean, it really is. It's ridiculous that we get to do this at all. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. No. Like when you were growing up, you never thought you'd get to, be on podcasts talking about horror. And one, because you didn't know what a podcast was when you were little. There's one day I'm going to be in the New York Times.
Things were different back then.
I never thought that I'd have people that are, quote unquote celebrities as friends, because you guys are truly the most humble, down-to-earth people. And usually you think, when you think celebrity, you think automatically that the person's going to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Whereas with the majority of the celebrities that I've met within the horror community, everybody's been like fantastic.
No, they're all great. Because that's the, kind of pulling the veil. When you move to LA, you realize a lot of those people have to work regular jobs because the money's not there like you think. It used to be 80s, 90s, prior to the internet, you always had to portray yourself as being larger than life. It was part of the mystique. It's almost opposite now in the day and age of everybody like illegally downloading. You have to get out there and say, no, wait a minute, that fucks me. I'm not making money. You're fucking me. You have to let them know that, like some of our favorite band members deliver pizza. Oh, yeah. They work multiple jobs. And that industry's the same. It's tough. I mean, we work harder doing this than any job we've ever had. And she used to be a pawnbroker.
Because the thing is, there is no 9 to 5. No. It's a constant. Right. We're constantly working throughout the day, throughout the weeks, throughout the weekends. Yeah. There is no just, okay, I'm turning my brain off now. It's you're constantly working. Yeah. Whether it's physically or mentally.
And that's why I use marijuana. It helps me turn my brain down. It's a medicinal thing.
It really does. It helps. I think it's better than, taking Xanax or,
it's
something
healthier.
Like that. Yeah. Well, except if you have asthma, but
that's true.
That's not going to stop me.
Yeah. Yeah. See, for me, I love the edibles.
Yeah.
And the edibles are so nice. I get them delivered. I can walk to my corner store and they have plants, they have edibles. It's the most amazing thing. And now California is testing mushrooms and making mushrooms medicinal, which I think is, it's going to fuck up probably a lot of things if people are driving around
I've never shrooms, in my life done shrooms. My cousin, we were at her house, I think for Labor Day weekend, and she hands me a baggie full of them. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? They were still sitting here till a week ago. One of my friends came over and he ate them.
Yeah.
Have fun.
What's this?
Mushrooms and hallucinogenics are getting real big in the self-help type stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Recovery and working through your inner problems and stuff. It's interesting to see they're getting so open to this stuff.
Yeah. They say one mushroom trip can reset the brain and can help depression for up to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should take some shrooms.
Well, last time I took shrooms, it was at a Thanksgiving, and the director of a Serbian film was there. So it was, I remember about an hour to 2 hours after taking him, I looked over at him and he's very stoic. I mean, he's, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the guy that did the movie about fucking a baby.
Oh my God, that movie, the only thing that was disturbing. It takes a lot to disturb me with watching horror films, and that one.
Yeah, I remember Human Centipede came out and everybody was talking about that. And then it feels like a couple months later or whatever, this came out. And I've seen that and was like Human Centipede was just
no,
nothing anymore. It's that's nothing.
Right out of the water.
Yeah.
That's peaches and cream compared to that.
The part with the baby, I actually had to shut off. I haven't had to shut off a movie since I was not even born yet. And
I can't watch those movies.
Yeah, I was like, what? I had to watch a comedy for a little bit and come back.
Yeah.
To cleanse yourself.
And then like I'm thinking the whole time, let me find somebody trying to do that to my nephew. I'm going to jail because I'm going to catch a case for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Sure.
And I think I've watched the movie once. For me, it's not a movie anybody should watch over and over again.
Right.
But you watch it once, and it's done well enough where you see what they're doing. You can see some of the subtext. But when I hear people call that their favorite movie of all time, I kind of go,
makes you wonder.
Yeah, that's might be a, you know.
Tom Hanks is rebooting it.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Of all people, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I think that the director of that had to go to like court. It like when like the days of like Cannibal Holocaust when he had to go to court for his movie, like it brought that back to it, which is very rock and roll. You don't get that like extreme edginess in horror really anymore. And it was kind of cool to see that.
No, because everybody now knows everything, nothing's real.
Fake.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
But wow, I mean, mushrooms, marijuana.
Sounds
I think my last panel at Rock and Chalk, I dropped acid on.
That was
you did. That was the one I recorded that's been floating around today.
I watched.
Everybody's been reposting that video from that panel today because you came up to me and you were like, "Guess what? I just dropped acid. This is going to be fun."
Well, I like those panels to be fun because, like, I think that one in particular, it was supposed to be an iSurvivor reading.
Oh, that's
and
right.
I'm like, what am I going to sit up there and read? I think I read.
Well, you
like
ended up
pages.
doing it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time, you were just talking about other projects. You were talking about your books.
Yeah.
And you were just genuinely having a good time with everybody that was in the panel.
Yeah. I like panels to be conversations. I'd rather just have conversations with people than talk about like things. And plus I was really high. I was really fucked up. So I was kind of just floating through everything. And if you haven't noticed from this, I have a tendency to just talk and keep talking and keep talking. And if I pause for a second and nobody talks, I jump right back in from years of doing radio and stuff.
Well, that's how we initially started with our podcast. We had started at like a small local radio station here in Rhode Island. And then, so we kind of got the vibe for it with doing that before we started with the Dorkening Network. So we kind of try to keep it going so everything flows, because they weren't kidding when they said like a 10-second lag feels like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it can be a lot. And she would never like understand that 10 seconds can feel like a long time, but I try to tell her that.
And this is why we love you guys.
Yeah. Well, no, it's what a year, man. What a fucking year we've had.
Like seriously. This is definitely one of those moments in time where we're all going to sit back and be like, damn, we're stronger than we thought because we survived.
Oh,
yeah.
If you can survive this year, I think you can survive just about anything.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like seriously, every health issue I've ever had in my life does not compare to this year.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's been one after another of, oh my God.
Well, we were supposed to shoot Bloodthirst in Vegas right before COVID hit. Mm-hmm. We were scheduled to shoot it early April. Everything was planned. We were all set to go, and then bam.
Yeah. COVID
put a kibosh to that. Yeah. So they were ready to start shooting right when they lifted the restrictions. So right when they lifted the restrictions, I think it was in July, is when we went right back into production.
And you could feel like you could breathe a little bit, but
I needed that so bad.
We moved in the middle of it because we had a small, like 450 square foot, 1-bedroom apartment. And about a month into COVID, we're like, we need more room.
Yeah.
This is getting it's normally
tiny.
Escape.
Yeah.
That's probably about the size of my place right now. Is probably about 480.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, if I'm gonna be, but at least you got to take into consideration too. Like I'm lucky that I have the person I'm with right now.
Yeah.
Because if I was still with my ex, I would be doing my portion of this program from prison.
Okay. one of those, huh?
Yeah, I would be doing that.
Yeah. Well, that could have been interesting because I'm not sure podcasts are in prison, but if that should be a thing.
Everybody has cell phones in prison now, I hear.
That's right, the burner phones.
Yeah.
What?
Burner phones.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
They sneak them in rectally.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew that.
I don't think I'd want to try and even attempt to put a burner phone in my booty.
No, I would never try to sneak anything in rectally because that would be inappropriate, Frenchie. I would always ask permission. Yes.
Yeah.
I used to feel that way about myself, but honestly, this whole bidet thing has made me question some things. I'm like, wow, that's nice. It's nice, Frenchie.
How was the bidet at the studio yesterday?
It was fine. I turned it down.
Oh, okay.
I put one in at the studio because I have to have one. They're part of the bidet reason is you guys know I got a shitty back. In the back.
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm fused, so I have trouble reaching sometimes, and my back has gotten bad because the one thing about being a writer is you get lost in it and you're hunched over and you forget to move. So I needed a bidet at the studio, but the bathroom is a freshly built bathroom. So I didn't realize the water pressure was so more than normal. So the first time I used it, it did hurt.
Okay.
It did hurt.
Well, you didn't check the settings?
No, I had the setting on low, but you have to adjust the pressure down here.
So he had it set at tsunami and didn't realize it was supposed to be a slow trickle.
Yeah, it was a level 4.
I heard it yesterday and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it was blasting, but the first time it was probably because I had a Hemi, and that was probably what the problem.
Probably didn't help anything.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I prefer writing screenplays now probably to books.
I think this is definitely going to go down as one of our more epic episodes. We're definitely keeping it real.
Well,
that's how we roll.
The pretty boy character was such a great look.
Yes.
You see horror films where the mask really kills the film, and I thought this was really great. So look, was that in the script or was that something you guys developed along the way?
That was from the first night Marcel told me about the dream. His version of it was like a Ken doll come to life with a blue suit and the pretty face. So we had no turnaround. I mean, we were literally from the dream to starting filming was 2.5 weeks. So luckily we have a friend of ours, Ken Hall. He did the mask for The Strangers, puppet master. He made the mask for us really fast. And really the pretty boy character, and I'm glad you brought up that you felt bad for him because in writing it, that was one of my goals is obviously I want you to feel for the Faye character, which Sarah played so well.
Great. Really did. I was going to bring that up, phenomenal. I tell everybody she's fantastic at it.
Yeah, she's.
Thank you guys. I mean, what's great is I really felt the character, and I basically became her. When I first read the script, I cried. Yeah. I mean, Joe's writing is it's phenomenal. There's so many levels with the screenplay and with the character. It almost made it easy for me to become her.
Yeah, I knew how to write for her, and Blind was my love letter to Sarah because I was giving her an opportunity to do something she may not normally get.
I mean, that kind of role is every actor's dream.
Yeah.
I mean, I was able to convey all these emotions, and it was such an amazing role, an amazing movie. Yeah. I'm so proud of it.
And I knew
there was a couple of points in it where you just like I said, you feel so much for both your character and Pretty Boy. There was a few parts where I was like, all right, should I really be crying right now or welling up with the tears? Because
I told Joe, I said right away, I said, I feel just as bad for Pretty Boy.
And that's
you really feel for him.
And that's really what I wanted to do, especially with the character, because Marcel had the look he wanted, which was a fantastic look. Obviously, looks sold the movie. We've got the nationwide costume and mask.
And well, you wanted that character to be like a Ken doll, and then you have Barbie playing the female lead. So you kind of, it was like a fantastic mash.
And that's basically what it was. It was like Barbie and Ken at prom. With Pretty Boy, obviously his vision of beauty is that Ken doll, so he's trying to look like that as much as he can. And I wanted people just to feel bad for him because you don't get that out of a lot of quote unquote slashers. You also don't get a lot of character development, which for me, because it's a trilogy, we kind of looked at the first movie as almost like act one of a greater thing. Let's just spend the movie getting to know the characters. Part 2, we go a little bit more horror, but part 2 focuses a lot on Pretty Boy. We get a lot more of his story, his backstory, in order to set up like a final confrontation type thing. So I think Marcel did a killer job with what he wanted with that character. And the thing is, when you're doing like a slasher movie for no budget on an indie level, you can't compete with the big boys. So you got to do your own thing.
Yep.
And we took chances. We said, you guys have seen the movie. Without spoiling it, I'll just say every time you kind of expect it to go somewhere, we try to do something a little different. Like all these movies end the same. It's the killer and the final girl, and there's an epic fight and chase. So I went the opposite way, and we ended up doing something different, which some people love, some people hate. It's polarizing.
I mean, it threw me off because the person that I thought was going to be Pretty Boy was not the person that was Pretty Boy.
No.
So
we've heard that a lot, actually.
Yeah. Because again, movies, the reveal is almost always, okay, that's what it's a Scooby-Doo moment of, oh, it's this person. So we wanted to just play with that a little bit. And really, we knew that because we shot it in the house Marcel lived in at the time, the director, he was renting it. I knew that if she's blind in a glass house, we can't have a lot of like chasing and fighting. It's just not going to work. Plus, we don't have the time. We don't have the budget. It was a 10-day shoot. It's
not real either.
No.
If you have, him chasing a blind person, regardless of even whether they know the layout or not.
It's not possible.
If he wants her, he's going to take her. And the shoot was interesting because it rained 5 of the 10 days on set. It rained for half that movie, and it never rains in California. But you never see it on camera raining. We got lucky that we could shoot around it. And shooting in the glass house was rough because it is right. We couldn't show the Hollywood sign because that's like $20,000. But it's right under the Hollywood sign, that house.
Yeah,
I was kind of figuring that's about the area that it looked like when I was, not like I've ever been there, but
you literally walk on the balcony and it's right there.
Yeah, it's just the Hollywood sign, but it's.
Well, and the nice thing about the rain was all of our drone shots. I mean, you could see how green and lush everything is.
It cleared the smog. The rain cleared the smog. So
I mean, we got a beautiful shot of downtown. We wouldn't have gotten that if it didn't rain.
We do this positivity stuff where we'll go up and hike and hold hands and just not religious, more spiritual about just life in the world and what we can do to try to be positive, because this is a city that's not positive. It's very negative.
That's like you're going on a hike in that kind of atmosphere. It's kind of like your woosah, where you can go and just reset yourself. And
it really is.
And we try to do that just to remind ourselves, because up there the city's beautiful. Yeah. And you just got to get up there to see it. And the big place we go is the Wisdom Tree, which is why it's the clone in the movies, Wisdom Tree clone. And it's about being positive. And like Luke, the character that's mute, his whole monologue type thing he says is a lot of what we say when we're up there on the hill. And that was, again, going in a weird direction. I mean, who's going to have the coach, speaker be mute? And talking through a cell phone. It was just it was weird.
And then every time he started speaking through his cell phone, all I could picture was like one of those old like Simon type voices.
Yeah.
When he was speaking or talking to whichever character he was speaking with at that moment. And I'm like, why do I feel like I'm listening to my speaking spell right now?
And it was interesting because we actually, Tyler Gallant, who played that character, which is a hard character to play because he's got to do it all through his facial expressions. It's his voice. So that was a challenge for him, is to do that and then do the voice later. Because we had to ADR the voice after the fact to get it to try to time out the best we could. But like, he did a great job. I was so proud of everybody that worked on it.
I mean, it was a beautiful film, and there were so many unique things about it, and it was a challenge, I think, for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, the whole movie's just our group of friends. We met every Tuesday at a taco place in the valley, and we had Taco Tuesdays, and we just said,
complain about that.
One of these days when the stars align, let's just all make a movie. And it just so happened that was the time frame. Yeah. We had 5 weeks available that we could shoot it in. So that was why we went from an idea to wrapping in 5 weeks. That's what we had. And it was fun to do with friends. It's a challenge working with friends sometimes because it's easy to kind of like, you have the banter, it's easy to goof off. But luckily for us, the majority of us are serious.
Yeah.
Like most people that work with me are shocked at how serious I am on set. I'm a lot of fun once the day's over, but while we're there, I'll smile.
It's work.
But we got work to do.
Right.
There's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's hard work. I mean, even the new movie we're working on, like we're all doing 10 jobs. Yeah. Like today, I spent all today going through catering for box lunches every day of everybody on the crew and actors, where we're ordering from, what they're going to get, putting that together.
The scheduling,
and Marcel's,
getting
the directors,
ready,
buying all the clothes and
the props,
But that's the beauty of it, is to see it all kind of come together and be there through the whole thing, because we're just happy we get to make another one.
It's like having a baby and watching your child grow. Yeah.
We knew we wanted the second one, but we didn't know if we could get it because of how weird it is. It's not a movie that you can really describe.
Right.
Now with the sequels, is Faye still going to be his obsession, or are you guys going to try and bring in other people for him to like kill everybody type of deal?
The sequel begins right when the first one ends. And if you noticed, we actually cut a couple scenes, so it's not really referenced, I guess. But the first movie ends, it's Valentine's Day. You can see the date on Luke's phone, and the scene that talks about Valentine's Day we cut. So if it's Valentine's Day in the Hollywood Hills, there may be, I don't know, another party going on somewhere. Yeah. So I'll say that.
I wasn't trying to make you guys like give too much away, but like, I'm that type of person that like, if I watch a movie where there's like a connection or something between characters, you kind of want to see them come back for the other one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And not see, all right, well, what happened to her? Where, why isn't she in this one? You know, and leave a bunch of other unanswered questions when, going into the sequel.
Yeah, we're gonna give a little bit more as we go. Like the first movie, there's a lot of little subtle things to pick up that maybe will be brought up later, but it's her story and it's Pretty Boy's story. So this one continues right where the first ended. We continue on at that moment. And the second movie is all one night. It's one night, basically between the time of 3 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. So the runtime of the movie is pretty close to the time frame too. So we got a little bit more money on this one, so that was nice. So we can have a little bit more gore. We have, when we shoot that one, we have Joe Castro doing the effects, and Frenchie's back. We got Jed Rowan, who played Pretty Boy. He's a friend of ours. We met at a convention 11 years ago in Colorado, of all places. And we got along with him well. And when we moved to LA, the first month we were here, we bumped into him 3 times. Like at Panda Express,
just
the bookstore.
Yeah.
And Jed had always, gotten along with us. And when we designed the movie, it was like he's the perfect Pretty Boy, because Jed has some unique mannerisms. And that's what we want to do too, is, we want to keep for the trilogy. Obviously we can't replace you. You're not replaceable. And then Jed plays the killer straight through, because we want that. Yeah. I mean, I love Friday the 13th. That's my favorite series of all time. Yeah. And it certainly didn't bother me when they changed up sometimes the Jasons, but like when you go from 2 to 3, it's just such a vast difference. Which is, for me, like 3 and 4 are my 2 favorite. What's your favorite, Frenchie? What's your favorite Friday the 13th?
Same, 3 and 4.
3 and 4?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you guys?
I like 6 a lot, but I enjoy 3 and 4.
Marcel loves 6 too.
6 got the best soundtrack of all time.
Yeah. Our director of Blind, Marcel Walls, part 6 is his favorite.
Classic, yeah.
Yep.
Mel, how
That's
about
wonderful.
You? It's probably the same thing for me. 3 and 4.
Yeah.
4 is the first one with Corey Feldman, right?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite ones.
I saw that one at the drive-in like 4 times when I was a kid, when I was like 8 years old. So that was the one that imprinted on me the most. Yeah. You guys seen the new box set?
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Every single person I know is buying that.
I know. We don't have it yet.
We don't have it yet either, but everybody posts it, and I'm so happy for them. for a moment, and then it's.
Then you're like,
And it's like, screw you, I need it.
Yep.
We'll get it at some point, that's for sure.
The posters that came with the box set too are like amazing.
They're beautiful. People are buying the posters for like $200 a piece.
Yeah. It reminded me of when the Chucky doll, that life-size Chucky doll came out, and everybody was throwing up their pictures of that, just making everybody jealous.
I personally, I can't do it as much as I want to because I have champagne taste on a beer budget.
Yeah.
So.
I hear you there.
That's me too. I'm gonna wait till the price drops a little bit, and then I'll probably scoop it up.
We have to.
And it's October.
I know you guys had pals in California before you left, but like, how welcoming is like the California community to outsiders coming in? I've always wondered that, because it is like the hub of making film, and everybody goes there, to really kind of, to attend. So how is it?
If I'm going to be completely honest,
I hope so.
It's like a junior high lunchroom. It's very cliquey. These people don't like those people. They talk shit. If you have success, people will hate on you because that should be them, not you. It's tough. The hardest thing is finding real friends here. You make a lot of industry friends, but very few real friends that you can count on. We've been lucky that we've got a handful of really strong friends. But it's tough. It's cliquey. It's a junior high lunchroom.
But you know what? That happens everywhere. Honestly,
that's
everywhere. Even in Minnesota, it was bad.
I mean, what we wanted to do with our team. You just have to
know what to look for and weed through the bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot of talkers, but with our team, we just wanted to show that, listen, there's no reason. I have a really cheesy line in Blind at the end where it's join me in this journey called life. It's cheesy as fuck. It's melodramatic, but that was me just trying to say that to everybody that's in the industry of, why can't we all just play together?
Right.
Why does it have to be this way?
Yeah.
Why can't we all support one another?
I love that line.
We're all doing our different things. Certainly nobody's making something like Blind. We're doing our own thing. They're doing their own thing.
Yep.
We support indie horror. We rent everything when it comes out. Yep. It's a challenge. Why you considering moving out here?
No.
No, I mean, it's a nice thought and all.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind.
We do film as well.
Visit.
Okay.
We make indie film as well, but my stance is more, I'll try and make an impact here, and if people hear it over there and want me over there, then I'll go. But
perfect.
Yeah,
it's tough here because everything costs so much more.
Yeah.
And including living here, like that 450 square foot apartment I told you about. That was $1,700 a month.
Yeah, that's a mortgage here.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, the reason we moved is because everything went down in price during COVID because people were not renting or moving. So everything finally went down a little bit. Yeah. So we made a jump.
Literally, to see your apartment, did you have to take a virtual tour, or did they actually let you come in and look around?
At first it was a virtual tour, right?
No, we could come, but nobody meets you. They give you a passcode, an individual passcode for the door, and then you can come in and look at it and leave. But nobody meets here, and But even that's weird because I could get the passcode and we could have just lived here until somebody,
squatting until further notice.
Yeah.
Now I know, in the movie in Blind, you are best friends with Caroline Williams' character. Mm-hmm. Are you and her tight in real life as well? Is she one of your inner circle being out on the West Coast, or is that the first time are you guys just on the set and then?
No,
that's a very personal question, man.
That's why she doesn't have to answer it. It's just a curious, it's just I like to see how other people get along.
I know you mean.
Strife.
We get it. I'll take this one.
Yeah.
We've known Caroline for years and years. She was part of our Taco Tuesday group. Every week we had tacos and hung out and everything. And I wish her well on her future endeavors.
Hell yeah.
It's not like she's ever going to listen to this show. So
no.
She's actually our biggest fan.
Yeah.
Maybe of you, not of me.
Yeah. No, I mean, Marcel had worked with her before on Blood Feast, his Blood Feast remake. Mm-hmm. I had worked with her on a movie years ago where she played my aunt that never got released. So she's been a part of our lives for a long time. But
and she was in Hanukkah too with you, wasn't she?
She was in Hanukkah.
Yes,
She
right.
played my mom in Hanukkah.
Yep.
There's points in life where you meet people and you've known them a long time and you work
and you
together.
just go your separate ways.
And then after
at some
that,
point.
the journey heads in other directions. But we wish her well.
Yes.
You know, we never wish anybody negativity.
No, I'd like to see people, you know, I'm the same way because I'm a firm believer. There's no point in putting bad energy out in the world.
No.
There's enough of it.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you're out there, you're doing your thing. Good for you, boo boo. You keep doing your thing, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
stay over here and do mine.
And we wish them well. Like even the people we don't get along with, we want them to do better,
Right.
because that just pushes us to want to do better. Like I don't want anybody to be terrible.
Yeah.
Or I mean, there's a few people I want.
Well,
to
I
be
mean, there's
terrible.
that saying, too. You know, everybody comes into your life for a reason, and whether they
Yeah.
stay for
Exactly.
you stay for a season or, you know, I can't remember it like completely, but that's
all
kind of like
part
the
of the
basis.
Yeah.
Everybody's in your life for a
Part of
reason.
the legacy, Mel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys first
Exactly.
moved to California. I hear you can just walk down the street and meet celebrities. Did you guys meet anybody that really blew your mind that was really cool, like walking into a John Carpenter, or, you know,
Well-
Sam Raimi, or
We actually worked with John Carpenter on 2 music videos.
hell yeah.
So
That's awesome.
one of them on his birthday, we did the Escape
great.
from New York music video,
Mhm.
and then the Distant Dream music video.
Yes.
So we got to work with John. That was cool.
Oh, that was
How
good.
is, that? How is John Carpenter?
He is he's all business.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know, it was great for us because it was live in the studio for it's the music.
Yeah.
So he's got the full band, and his backing band is his son,
Yeah.
and Daniel Davies, who's the son of one of the guys from the Kinks.
Okay.
And the other 2 to 3 are the backing band of Tenacious D. So they're all fantastic musicians.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
But he knows what he wants. He's not going to dick around. This is what he wants to do. The beautiful part of it was there was a moment, because his son with Adrian Barbeau is a really nice guy, and they all both play keyboards in the band. And in the studio we're in it's a famous studio. Like Lady Gaga was recording next door to us. She came over to kind of listen.
And Joe met her.
Wow.
I met her there at that. So
I would have fangirled so bad.
That's like big.
Shit
Yeah.
like that happens.
she-
It happens
she-
all the time.
she
here.
was awesome. But there was a moment where we were on break and there were 2 old pianos that were kind of facing each other. And John and his son started playing the theme from Halloween.
Wow.
And we just stood there for like 3.5 minutes.
We're
and you
just like
take
in
it
awe
going.
watching them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he's on my bucket list of people I'd love to be able to meet.
yeah, he's wonderful. We've seen Kiefer Sutherland at the grocery store a handful of
Oh, yeah.
times. One time he put his groceries in the wrong person's cart. He put them in somebody else's cart, and he had to pull them out and apologize. So I was like, "Fuck, I've done that, and it's embarrassing." But
Yeah.
imagine being Kiefer Sutherland and doing that.
I'm sorry.
I purposely do that. Like I'll walk by a woman that's got a screaming kid and like throw a pack of condoms in her cart.
Perfect.
You know, that
Just
type of
picture the
deal.
noodles, Michael, toys with like the Chinese noodles.
Oh
It's
god,
like
yeah.
a fake commercial for like a frozen noodle dinner.
Yeah.
Got your noodles, Michael.
Yep. Well, we saw the guy who played Newman was
Oh,
at the
yeah.
grocery store, and everything in my head said, "Okay, go get a can of Barbasol and tell him he dropped it." And I was like, "Fuck, I bet everybody's
You
done
should
that."
have.
And you know,
Yeah.
you kind of leave them alone when they're out and about.
Yeah.
But it's grocery stores mainly where you see people. It's like you go to Hollywood Boulevard, you're never going to see anybody.
Well, when
down there.
when I first moved here, I worked a day job. Yes, I had a day job. At Bed Bath and Beyond, and it was right at the bottom of the Hollywood Hills, basically.
Right off Ventura Boulevard.
Yeah, right off Ventura, and so all the celebrities would shop there. So I helped Patricia Arquette multiple times.
Very
She
nice.
was super cool. She was super
Yeah.
cool. I was just like,
I've always
it's insane.
Yeah. She's
I
got
did
her horror ties.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. That was
Yeah.
where my love for her started.
Yeah,
The whole
she's great.
family's great. I love that whole family. Yeah.
Did you see the David Arquette documentary?
That documentary, I want to. I love the
Oh,
fact
yeah, I
that
haven't seen
It's
that yet.
good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's
it's
good.
really good.
he seems like a good guy too.
He's a very nice guy. I met him once at a convention in Texas years ago, and very cool. Loves horror, loves wrestling. We're huge wrestling fans. So,
Yes.
Yeah. I love
Um,
wrestling.
We were talking about like when Ready to Rumble first came out.
Yeah.
we were talking about how great that movie was, and you know, it's
So
absolutely
much fun.
hysterical. Yeah.
It was one of the only times that the WCW got the upper hand on the WWF was with that movie.
They did, and then went out of business. Vince bought them shortly after, but
well, that's why.
That was because WWE didn't make very good movies back in the day. Like I loved No Holds Barred, the Hogan Zeus movie. Yeah. But I rewatched that like last year, and it just doesn't hold up.
It doesn't hold up to the.
Sure.
When I was a kid, it was one thing, but.
Wow.
I'm kind of curious to see where like WWE now, but like where the See No Evil movies with Kane. Mm-hmm. I want to see how I'll feel about those movies when I'm like 80.
Yeah. I really loved the first one. The first one was directed by a porn director, so it's very mean. Like he's carrying people through doorways, and he's bashing them. Yeah. It's very dark. It's very mean. The second one was a little lower budget.
And the Soska twins did that one.
Yeah, the second one. With Danielle Harris and.
Yeah, Danielle Harris was in it. Catherine Isabel. Yep. She's another one I'd like to meet because I enjoy her work too. American Mary, I think, is my all-time favorite with Catherine Isabel.
Yeah, of the Soska movies, I think that's probably. Well, actually, I like the Rabid movie quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
I thought Rabid was well done.
Fantastic job with Rabid. I have Jen Soska as a friend on my Facebook, and I was like, I'm gonna end up offending her, but I'm like, I had posted some meme for Dead Hooker in a trunk and it was like some 3-year-old and she like commented under it, but she was laughing about it because of
That's great.
I don't remember what the meme said, but
like
everybody knows I post the most random shit, and like depending on what time of day or night it is and what kind of how much lack of oxygen is going to my brain is what I'm gonna post.
Yeah. Well, see, and I used to post tons of just I thought it was funny, but a lot of stuff. But I've over the years pulled back a little bit because the world has shifted in Hollywood.
No, you pulled back a lot.
And a joke can get you and you can lose a job because of a joke you made 10 years ago.
Yeah. Or if you're me, you get 30 days in Facebook jail constantly.
Yeah. Or you're blacked out in the lobby of a hotel in Worcester, Mass, with Jesus from The Walking Dead, and you're
that dude could have literally read me the dictionary, and I would have been okay with it.
Yeah, I don't think he liked me, but I was in a full blackout during that situation.
That was the first time I met you, and the first thing that happened that night was you showed me your tattoo.
Yep. Well, the thing is like I used to drink a lot at shows, and I was always known as the party guy, and I had lost all that weight and I hadn't drank in a year. So because I went almost a year where I couldn't walk on my own. I was either in a walker or I'd collapsed prior to the last surgery. So when I got there, it was like seeing friends again. So I was like, fuck, I can drink like I normally do. But having weighed 100 pounds less and not drank in a year, it was bad. I blacked out, and there's
Matty
a lot of pictures.
Bring me home one night. I had one of those moments, so I understand completely.
I've seen the pictures though, where Jesus is there, you're sitting there. I think it's you and I talking in the picture because somebody else took it.
I've never seen those pictures.
But you can see Jesus sitting there with this look of disdain.
About
whatever I was saying.
It was like 4 a.m. Sarah's long gone into out cold sleeping.
No, she did.
Joe missed that full Saturday.
Yeah, show. I never made it to the show Saturday. It's the only time in the history of shows I never made a show.
Like, are you kidding me?
We went hard on that Friday night.
That was a rough one for me, and she left me.
Yep.
She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go upstairs and get a drink," and then she never came back.
Yeah, you said that to us too.
To your damn
but
self.
it was a fun weekend for me because it was my childhood friend. I grew up in a small town called Eota, Minnesota, that had like 800 people in that little town. And my friend actually played drums for Ministry. That was his first show with Ministry. So we kind of had a reunion there in the lobby of how weird is it that two of us from this little shit town all ended up kind of chasing, because he was a drummer back then. And I had to see a shrink back then because I wrote a story for creative writing about killing my family. So we both kind of ended up gravitating towards.
But it's like, it's a healthy release. You weren't acting on those thoughts.
I didn't understand it because there was humor. Anybody that's read any of my either Zombie Bukkake or the short story collections, there's humor through all of it. And I get away with what I do because I'm winking, and it's not.
Well, not for nothing. Even when you see a name of a book named Zombie Bukkake, you know there's an element of comedy in there.
Yeah.
Because who the hell is going to think of that on their own and be serious?
Yeah. Well, have you ever heard the story of that book?
No, I haven't. I'll admit I haven't read any of your books yet, but well,
you don't have to read the book. You don't have to read the book, but the story of how the book came about is probably better than the book. And I used to do, prior to like Rock and Shock and stuff, I did a lot of conventions. They were all over the country. And I would I'd buy a toilet and I'd paint it all bloody and fill it with brownies. And my readings, I would pull down my pants and I would read from the toilet. And while I was reading, I'd take brownies and I'd eat them or throw them at the crowd, whatever. But one of them, I had a friend bet me, he said, I'll give you $100 if you can say the word bukkake more than 50 times during this reading. So I went up and made up the whole thing about Zombie Bukkake is my next book. It was never supposed to be real. It was a fake title that got around and got somebody from the History Channel to write me about being in a documentary they were doing on zombies. So I was flown to LA, credited on screen as author Zombie Bukkake, and over this thing. And at that point, I was like, I better write it now. So I quickly wrote it as quick as I could. That's
amazing, though, because like you see that happen. You see that does happen at times, because it's like, when they released the Grindhouse movies with Planet Terror and Death Proof, like Machete was only supposed to be like a fake trailer, and people were so amped up about it. They made 2 movies out of it.
2 movies.
And supposedly Machete in Space is the next one.
Danny wants it really bad.
Danny, I was lucky enough to meet Danny at Rhode Island Comic Con in 2018. He's like the nicest guy. Like he saw that we had press passes and he let us, like, we'd all been waiting in line for 3 hours prior to the convention even starting. Like when they let us in, we were there. Yeah. So we're standing in line and he seen that I had press passes. So he let me and all my friends that were with me jump the line. I'm sure those people were pissed. But he's like, "Oh, you guys have press passes. Come on over and talk to us." They do
not support the Shock Treatment show.
Not after that. I'm like, I don't mind waiting. We've already been waiting here for 3 hours. There's literally like maybe a half a dozen to a dozen people in front of us, because they would have people holding their spot, run and go get coffee, and switch off, that type of deal. So I'm like, oh wow, these people are really gonna hate us. And then every time we walked by, he'd start whistling, and he was sitting across from Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
And like,
who's a lot of fun.
He had Michael Rooker across from him, and Emilio Rivera from
Sons of
Anarchy. The Mayans and Sons of Anarchy next to him. So like, and then Joey Fatone on the other side of him. So like that whole entire corner was trouble, because every time I came by, they would start yelling something, because they all knew me from walking around all weekend.
Yeah, I love that's great.
That's awesome.
All those guys all those guys you mentioned are awesome.
Michael Rooker actually autographed a copy of Matty's movie.
Really?
DJ Stan the Man,
He autographed it and gave it back to me.
Really?
I had another one to give him.
So he ended up getting his autograph on
fun story that I love.
Yeah, no, it's a great story. Michael's a good guy. Danny's great. Yeah. He makes his restaurant out here, his taco restaurant. Oh my God,
it's so good.
I know. I want to go. That's the only reason I want to go out to California. I'm not even gonna lie.
Food is so good.
Yep, and he's got a donut shop too. We've never been in there yet.
No, we have to go.
Yeah, because there's usually a line around the door.
I know.
Around the building, but no, that's so I mean, the process of writing screenplays is so much different than fiction.
I know. That's the bad thing about doing this show with us. We go in 9 million directions all at the same time. It always ends up back at the same time.
But that's okay. That's what makes it fun.
I never talk about any topics. It's just talking a mile a minute.
It's fine. It's better that way.
And
then people get to see just how real you really are, that you're not fake, you're not trying to be somebody that you're not. You're out there, you're doing your thing, you're killing it. Neither one of you are at a lack for having new projects. Like there's constantly something being released between one or both of you.
I'm proud of the both of you.
I mean, even the fact that you guys being together, you're a couple, you guys you get along well enough where you can work together, you travel together.
Yeah.
There's not many people that can say that. Even
No, 11 years. We've been together 11 years.
Now, you're both from Missouri, so were you anywhere like within vicinity? Did you meet there originally?
Minnesota. We were in Minnesota.
Oh, sorry, Minnesota. Sorry.
No, that's fine. They both start with a myth. A myth.
No, we met on my very first movie, Pajama Party Massacre. He played the killer and he wrote the screenplay. So that's where we met, and then we did a few movies together after that. And on the third film is when we kind of got together.
Yeah, prior to shooting the third film.
Yeah.
Actually, the premiere of the second film. But the first film, I cut her head off, and it was this weird.
And it was love ever since.
It was connection.
Yeah.
It was.
I knew right away. I was like, "That's my man."
We were both in other relationships at the time, so the friendship blossomed, and then turned into, Yeah,
I mean, he's been with me through this whole journey since day one.
Yeah.
And he's seen the progression, and we work really well together.
And that's what makes it fantastic, to see you guys getting what you deserve, and everything that you're getting, you deserve.
Yeah.
It's not like somebody that's doing it just because of the fact that they want that check. They just want they want to be known. You're doing it for the actual love of it.
Oh
no, and it was great to work together, because we did those 3 movies together in Minnesota, and she didn't act in anything I wrote until Blind. Again, we had that 10 years of being together and always working on separate things before we came full circle again. And then we did Blind, we did a werewolf movie with Richard Grieco, and then we did the movie coming up. We've got 2 more movies in the next 6 months we're doing that I wrote that you're going to be in. She's got
plus whatever other projects she's got lined up ready to go.
I mean, it's been insane. I mean, my Lifetime movie just came out like a few weeks ago, Pool Boy Nightmare, so that you can see on Amazon Prime.
Yep, and Lifetime.
And Lifetime as well.
I can't even remember. We used to have like on Sundays back in the day, like Sundays with Lifetime movies and pints of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I can't. That probably helped to, contributing to the fact that I was almost 500 pounds at one time.
It was great. It was great doing a Lifetime film. It was my first one, and that was like one of my goals. I'm like, okay, I got to do a Lifetime movie. I got to do a reenactment show. I got to, and
Well, it's funny because like Felissa did a Lifetime movie, and then I've been following her more so since I met her at Rock and Shock. So like, when you start seeing people pop up on things on like networks that you frequent, it's this is cool, awesome.
Not just horror films anymore. They're breaking the zeitgeist.
You show your variety. That you're not, you cannot be stereotyped.
No.
Because no matter what role is handed to you, you are smashing it.
Oh, 100%.
And
I mean,
she's worked in a lot of music videos. She did.
That was what I was going to ask. You were discovered in a heavy metal concert, right?
Yes. Well,
what concert was it?
People have asked me that, and I don't even know. This was way before your time.
Well, thanks.
This was way before we even met.
Yeah.
But it was some local band, I think. I can't remember, but it was in Minnesota at a local show, and just a photographer came up to me, and he's like, I had the whole goth, alternative girl look, I guess. And he's like, I love your look. We should shoot some time. I do photography, this and that. He gave me his card, and I was like,
well, in the back of your mind, you're thinking this guy's full of shit.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just having a good time, listening to music, whatever. I was actually pretty surprised. I didn't contact him and look at the card till like 6 months later. I was like, I'm gonna give this a try. Why not?
Yeah.
So you found the card buried at the bottom of your purse.
Yeah,
at the time she was going to school for criminal justice.
Wow.
And then decided that's it.
Every road leads to somewhere, and I really feel like I am where I need to be today, because looking back when I was a kid, I would always try to entertain family and put on little plays and shows. And then even when I was going to school for criminal justice, I was still taking classes for acting, because you could do different take different credits, things like that. And I took some theater classes, and I think that's where I really found my love for it. And I would make little short films with my friends in high school. So it was a progression. And looking back at it now, I'm like, this is where everything I've done in my life has led me to where I am today.
Yeah, everything was in your cards. Your card, you've played your cards, you've played the hands you've been dealt, and you've been totally successful with it.
Yeah, and the music videos she's been in, like, we're metal fans. We love metal, and like, she listened to a lot of Century Media, that record company. So she got to do the Witherfall video.
Yep.
Two videos for Twisted.
Yes.
We got Juggalo fans that like the shot.
I even said that to Matty, because I have the 2 different Facebook pages, because I try to keep like my personal page limited to, you know, the shenanigans that happen at times. So like I'm looking at the second page, and I'm like, I don't know why I have 1,000 friends on my everyday Facebook page, but when I see that I'm almost maxed out for my friends on my other page, and the fact that 90% of them are juggalos. I've never in my life even listened to Insane Clown Posse.
Me and Alex Hawk went to the Gathering. Me and Alex Hawk went to the Gathering in 2019, and we were selling movies to all the juggalos. I've been a fan of ICP since like high school.
Nice.
And I know a lot of people aren't fans, which is fun.
I had Great Malenko. I had that one. I like that one.
That was the album.
Yeah.
Twisted. That's probably the one I'm more familiar with.
Yeah, the Twisted guys are awesome. Though.
They really are.
They love horror. They're very cool.
I met the Twisted guys before too. Yeah, they're really cool. Unfortunately, them and the Clowns got beef right now, but they'll figure it out by the Gathering, I'm sure.
Yeah. They'll come back together, and you did the Slayer. Oh, wait a minute, you weren't in Slayer.
That's it.
I'm the one who was in
He
Slayer.
got to do a couple Slayer music videos. I was so jealous, but they didn't have any parts for women, so I'm like, but I did get to do a music video of one of my favorite bands, Killswitch Engage. I did a music video last year.
The guy that's the lead singer, Jesse Leach, we went to high school together.
Really?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yep. I love him.
That's one of her favorite bands.
It's one of my favorite bands. I love Howard too. Like, they're both amazing guys.
That's why, that's kind of like why I like to do this, because, and it's the same thing with Matty. You know, we're making a name for ourselves here, whether people, you know, how significant people may think it is or not, we're still making our path. So somebody that I went to high school with as the front man of a band like Killswitch Engage, it's like, holy shit, you go, bro. You did it.
And he's been doing it a long time too.
And he was always like a band. He was in the band. Like, we were in the band together. Like, I was a band geek. I was in choir. Like,
wow, that's amazing.
So it's like to see him now, I'm like, wow, you're from little old Cranston, Rhode Island.
Yeah. Very cool.
We went to Slayer a couple of years ago. I had a diabetes scare too, Joe. I know you did. Are you all good with your diabetes?
Yeah, I with the weight loss and the change of diet, I don't take meds or anything. I'm all good.
That's what I did. I got off all the medicine and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, it was such a crazy thing. But I remember, like, right after that, like, when you still feel dead coming back from it, and you're like, I remember I went to go see Slayer, and like the you know, the like the Christ Illusion cover with like the cut off Jesus face.
Yeah.
I remember just being there, like, half dead, like. It was weird. It was weird. But that has to be some of the most offensive, like, artwork ever released. It's crazy. I remember just being like, because I was so close to death, I was like, should I be looking at this? Because I was like,
you're almost on your way there. Is that what you want to see?
Yeah, exactly. Is this how I'm going to be welcomed into those?
Oh no!
I had to say, is Jesus slowly forming, and we've only seen like the first top of the head, and he's going to get me or something. I don't know.
And then that's going to be it. No, but I'm glad to hear you're better too, because
thank you, sir.
Diabetes is something that's a moment where you got to decide to change.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or that's kind of
you die.
Yeah, that's exactly what led me on my weight loss journey, because I was on like 5 different meds for it. So prior to having, because I had gastric bypass done, prior to having it done, you have like a 2-week period where all you can have are protein shakes.
Yeah.
That's it, nothing else. And in the first week alone, I was on no more diabetes meds. I wasn't even borderline. They were like,
Good.
holy crap, they were like, we can't believe that just
Yeah.
after just a week of protein shakes that I was
that's
no longer on
amazing.
the meds.
Yeah, I mean, you got to cut the carbs and sugar.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
amazing.
It's crazy when
It's
you
a
look
killer.
at like
It is killer because I have a cat trying to photobomb.
I remember when I went to the hospital, like I was like I was feeling like shit, and I never go to the hospital, and I was like just like dragging. I remember walking down my hallway to my apartment, and like my body kept swaying against the wall. So I went in, and my blood sugar was up over like 900, and they're like, people are usually in comas at this
Comas
point.
by then,
I
yeah.
was in the ICU for 3 days, and then I was in the hospital for a week. But I remember like sitting in the hospital bed, and every commercial for a food that came on the TV was like food that would kill you. It was like
Burger King, McDonald's,
like cereal, like everything was like terrible for you. Yeah,
Wow.
it's crazy. That's a movie right there.
Yeah, but to me, I look at things in a positive way, that seeing that probably was helpful for you, of going, that's what I want. But you felt so bad that you started equating like, I can't do this again.
Well, and the thing is, once you stop eating a certain thing, you don't crave it anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Like we stopped buying bread and things like that, like and pastas, and we haven't bought bread or pasta in years.
No, we do a lot of like tacos and
my new favorite thing is then spaghetti squash.
Oh yeah,
she does the big spaghetti squash thing.
I just made like spaghetti squash, and then I used like a chicken sausage that had
there you go,
roasted red peppers and spinach in it.
Yep.
And then I threw in some more spinach and like all kinds of other stuff, and it's God, like
that's great.
It's
you guys
amazing.
make your own soup?
Yes.
You guys with the broth and then add all the ingredients?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
There's so many alternatives now that it's easier to be healthy now than it's ever been. I mean, even cauliflower rice.
I won't eat cauliflower.
Cauliflower rice. Like
my other favorite thing is
that.
I like veggie. They're the veggie tots. Instead of buying actual like tater tots, they have ones made with cauliflower, and then they have ones that are broccoli and cheese, and they're amazing.
Oh, it's making me hungry.
See, I don't do broccoli or cauliflower. I don't do cruciferous vegetables.
But what he will do is you cut up the veggies enough and throw it in the soup.
But not broccoli or cauliflower.
Wow.
I won't. No, I know you don't put that in there.
Cut up very finely.
Yeah. Sometimes I think she's trying to kill me. She's poisoning me.
Oh man, so I'm guessing you would. Broccoli and cheddar soup will not be on the menu in your home unless it's just for Sarah.
No.
Yeah, just for me. We usually cook our own foods.
Yeah, we do, but we can do that a lot because of just the time
The schedules.
Our schedules are completely, pretty opposite, but.
Like today I wrote from 9 to 3, and she had a modeling gig, so she was gone all day and got back right about the time I got done.
Literally just in time to do this.
Exactly. We're like,
But that's how you plan the day. You go, when she got the modeling gig, it was like, okay, she's got to be ready by 4. So what's the time frame? And you could be back by 3, so you can do it. You start piecing in things. With that being said, though, it's feast or famine here. We may go 3 weeks with nothing, and you start going, oh fuck, what are we gonna do? We got rent due. We gotta figure something out.
We've been pretty fortunate this last year, actually.
Considering with everything else going on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's our best year in the industry, probably, ironically.
Well, finally, more of my movies. Well, what's great for me is more of my movies are coming out, and I did a mobster film called Booze, Broads, and Blackjack. It's on Amazon Prime now, which I was going to mention earlier. That's not a horror film.
That's not a horror film.
It's fun doing all sorts of different things, and
didn't you do a movie where you were an assassin?
God, that was many years ago.
You were a Russian assassin.
Yes, I did play a Russian assassin.
A Russian assassin named Lin Chow.
I like that.
It's great being able to just break out of,
that supposed
being, exactly. And just doing different things. And I just love being in front of the camera and entertaining people. And if it's a great script, I'll check it out.
So you're living your dream. You're total proof to everybody that's out there that wants to become an actor or an actress that you can make it. You just have to put the work in.
You have to put the work in, and you cannot give up.
Yeah.
You just have to keep going and don't look back.
And you work hard and you choose your projects wisely. You don't do everything you're offered.
And that's the thing.
Like
you have to be
wanna
very picky and choosy.
And Nick Cage?
Well, no, in that case, we will be at $1 million a film.
You guys inspire, which is very good, because people look up and we see you. I can't push it enough, like that. We've seen you guys for so long do the hustle, and then to finally see it pay off's nice, because we're all still hustling on the underground too. You know what I mean? And to see you guys make good is like positive.
Like we all started the same. We all started on that stuff, and it's you work hard, and luck comes in a little bit too. And you position yourself right, you end up doing a lot of little. I mean, like
luck, having a whole lot of faith.
Yeah, she just started a movie with Michael Madsen, and
he's another one that's an amazing talent.
Oh my God, I got to work with him in a couple of scenes, and I was just watching him, and I'm just like, wow, he's just so amazing. He has
kind of like a fangirl for you.
Completely. I was like, oh my God, I wanted to get a picture with him so bad, but I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's good enough that I'm in the scene with him. I said, that's good enough. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
But he was really cool. He was very complimentary towards me. He's like, you're amazing. And, he was saying all this nice stuff about me. And I'm like, I just love
whether you have the picture to like for that memory, you have everything he said to you, because those memories, no one can ever take those memories away from you.
Oh, no.
And you'll have the screen. Is it screenshot or screen?
I'll have a screenshot.
Screenshot.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a screen cap? I always say screen cap.
It's the same thing.
And my kids make fun of me.
Like a thumbnail.
No, but and getting back to the hard work is you also have to grow, and you have to learn as you go, and just keep trying to get better at the craft, because with everything we do, we want to elevate with every project.
Let's find unique ways, and I mean, she didn't do any films the first half of the year because everything shut down, and I think she's gonna, by the end of the year, she'll have done 6 or 7 just during this time frame, which is nice.
That's amazing, because you wouldn't think that you would do that many, because most people don't even do that without COVID. And here you are.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful every day, and I will never ever take anything for granted.
And that's just another reason why we all love you so much.
I love you guys.
Well, it's good, and it's very good to talk to you guys, because it sucks not being at Rock and Shock.
It does, and that's why I'm glad that you guys were able to do this, and that we, we're probably closing in on the 2 hours.
We've kept you for like 4 hours.
Well, this has been so much fun.
Well,
we know you guys. You gotta have dinner, but you can actually have dinner together tonight.
Yes, we can.
And then I'm at the studio tomorrow.
Well, I'm at the studio too.
We're doing sets. And we have to go get a COVID test in the morning.
Yep, we have a busy day tomorrow.
Oh, how many of you had to have done? I'm on my 3rd.
We've had a couple, just because I've worked on a few films now. And
so the ones that they've done with you, are they the ones where they do the full brain probe?
No,
I've had to get the full brain probe once.
Hell no.
LA, we're pretty lucky that we can do the drive-through ones.
Yeah.
Where they hand them to you and you do your own mouth swab.
Yeah, with the Q. They have the drive-through ones here in Rhode Island. They hand you a bag with Q-tips, and then you just kind of like do it. But I've done that one once, and I was like, why can't they all be like this? The other two are the brain probes.
No way.
No, see, I
eyes are watering. I'm like crying.
No.
She would pass out.
I can't.
I literally had an ear infection after the first one, because they dug so deep, like seriously, it was like Egyptian times. They were gonna pull my brain out to stick it in a canopic jar.
Could be a czar. Could be a Zarmel. Mad Zarmel.
Yeah.
Tell everybody, we'll let you guys go. But before you go, let everybody know how they can find you on social media.
You can find me. I'm mostly on Instagram, Sarah French Online, and also Facebook. And be sure to check out the special, you guys. It's out now. And Blind will be coming out November 3rd. We're very excited about it. We can't wait for you guys to see it.
I don't even, Facebook and Instagram, I don't even know what the names are.
I think it's
That's
Joe
okay.
Knetter.
When I if you don't remember it right now, don't worry about it. On Friday, when I post the audio portion of the show, I'll make sure I put all your links so that everybody can follow you guys as well.
Facebook, Instagram's what I like because it's just pictures. There's not really drama.
I can't get stuck in jail over there either.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, you can't. They can't. That's good.
No, you can get deleted. I've heard people get deleted, but they're posting,
Well, I mean, considering
nude
it's
pictures and shit.
I don't get. There's a lot of people posting nude pictures on Instagram. Like, I'm like, wow. Like, I log into my Instagram in the morning, and the first thing I see is a set of boobs. I'm like, not how I want to start my morning. let me have my coffee first.
Yeah, I don't want to start my morning that way either. But if you happen to have a link to that, I will make sure I put it in the list of where I'm not going to look.
I'll send you a message after.
It's been 11 years.
You don't need to worry about it. You have that fine lady next to you.
I know. I am very happy and thrilled that she's put up with me and continues to put up with me because I'm a handful.
Yes, he is. But I'm a handful too. So I'm, not innocent either.
Yeah.
But you guys you balance each other out, which is what you can ask for.
We do. Yes, we try our best.
We do.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
We'd love to have you back on again.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
We have to.
We'll come back on with some more
awesome stories.
More awesome stories about how, like, I prefer screenplays to fiction.
Hopefully, maybe the next time we do a show where we can have some more stories because we got to actually physically see one another at some other convention.
Yes.
I actually, to be honest, to tell you how much enjoyable this was, I actually forgot we were recording this for a show. This was just.
That's what we try to aim for.
Talking with friends.
That's what we try to aim for with our shows.
Yeah. Very cool.
Well, you're doing a great job.
You've succeeded and keep it up.
We appreciate all of that.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Safe.
Have a great night.
You too.
Enjoy the rest of your October.
You too.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
Halloween.